We're doing a tour of the Kings Oak neighborhood. It's one of 79 neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis. We're 6 miles from the Gateway Arch. This is Modern Brewery. It's too hot and sunny right now, but that patio gets packed at night. People mostly are inside now. This is Compton Drew Middle School. It's named after Arthur Holly Compton, a physicist who was also Chancellor of Washington University and has a star on our Walk of Fame. And Charles Drew, an African-American surgeon who developed techniques for storing blood and created large-scale blood banks. And we're approaching the St. Louis Science Center. Right in this area was a Stan and Biggie's restaurant. They started on Chippewa, then opened one here in 1961. It was here until 1987. The great Stan Musial was a partner. Barnes Jewish Hospital is over that way. That's the Sky Bridge that leads to the planetarium. The planetarium opened in 1963. That was the first part of the Science Center. It was designed by Gio Obata, our amazing architect, and it lights up in various colors at night. The main building here opened in 1991. It's where Falstaff's headquarters were until 1975. That building closed and they moved. Inside you'll see the Energizer ball machine. And you'll see dinosaurs and special exhibits. Grow has some interesting information on what we grow here and where Missouri and Illinois rank in soybeans, cattle, chicken, rice, corn, and so forth. And you can clock the cars on the Sky Bridge over the highway. And in the planetarium you'll see the Earth and Mars. And replica Mars rovers. We have real training capsules for Mercury and Gemini. All of that spacecraft was made by McDonnell Aircraft here in St. Louis. It led to the first spacewalk. And then the Apollo missions, which landed a man on the moon. And the gift shop even has your Halloween costumes. And we made it to St. Louis University High School. It's the oldest high school west of the Mississippi River. It was known as St. Louis Academy from 1818 to 1924 when they moved here and changed the name 100 years ago. Jean Baptiste Charbonneau went here, the son of Sacagawea. He was nicknamed Pomp by William Clark, who he later lived with. Several mayors of the city of St. Louis went here, including Brian Malamphy in 1847 and 1848. He's the son of John Malamphy. In 1836, he protected Elijah Lovejoy's printing press. He was an abolitionist. Joseph Darst went here. He was the mayor from 1949 to 1953. Raymond Tucker was the mayor from 1953 to 1965. And Alphonso Cervantes was the mayor from 1965 to 1973. They all went here. William Quinn was the first governor of the state of Hawaii from 1959 to 1962. Hubert Schlafly went here. He invented the teleprompter in the 1950s. Ed Macauley went here. He won an NBA championship in 1958 with the St. Louis Hawks. Max Starkloff, the disability rights activist. Henry Hampton, the filmmaker. His documentary, Eyes on the Prize, about America's civil rights movement, won 6 Emmy Awards and a Peabody Award. Ken Sanders was a relief pitcher who had a long career. He led the league in saves in 1971 with 31. They've won 4 state championships in basketball in 1946, 1952, 1958, and 1961. Rich Grauer was on that team. He graduated in 61, and they beat Crystal City 52-51. They were led by Bill Bradley. They played at Backer Memorial Gym, and the Donnie Fieldhouse opened in 2009. Erwin Claggett is the current basketball coach. Michael Blassie, a hero who died in the Vietnam War. He was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier before being reinterred at Jefferson Barracks. They won the state championship in football in 1970. They've won 23 state championships in water polo, including this year. They've won 13 in volleyball and 4 in hockey. Henry Jones, the safety who played for the Buffalo Bills, he played in the last 3 of those 4 Super Bowls that they lost in a row. Pat McBride played soccer here. They've won 3 state championships in soccer. The first was in 1972. Tim Twellman was on the team. He's Taylor's dad. And my friend Ken Clifton was on the team. He was a junior. And Ty Keogh was on the team. He was a sophomore. Jeff Cacciatore played soccer here. Dan Isom, he became the St. Louis Police Commissioner from 2008 to 2013. And Taylor Twellman, he made the state championship final his sophomore year in 1995, but they lost to DeSmet. They won a second state championship in soccer in 1990 and then in 2003. This was a big football game SLU won at CBC. Keith Schwab is a physicist at Caltech, a university portrayed in The Big Bang Theory. James Gunn is a filmmaker. He wrote and directed Guardians of the Galaxy, a huge hit. He also wrote Scooby-Doo and its sequel. And he has Superman coming out in 2025. He's writing and directing. His brother Patrick Gunn is a former senior vice president of Artisan Entertainment. His brother Brian is a screenwriter, and their cousin Mark is a screenwriter and producer. Together they wrote Journey to the Mysterious Island, a box office smash hit, and they also wrote Brightburn together. And their brother Matt Gunn was a writer for Real Time with Bill Maher. And the fourth brother, Sean, is an actor. He was in Gilmore Girls, a huge hit TV show. And he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, which was also a huge hit. David Giuntoli is an actor. He was on NBC's Grimm and ABC's A Million Little Things. The communications division of the city of St. Louis is across the street. And there's some nice homes in Kings Oak. Not too many. It's not a big residential neighborhood at all. And this is Kingshighway in Oakland, which is where this neighborhood gets its name. Now we'll look at some of the sights around this neighborhood. Well, that was a fun one today. I enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me.